Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be starting some performance parts on the BA Falcon, so let's get to it. First we'll be installing the catch can setup, and then we'll be moving on to the forward facing planning because apparently the factory hard lines hit, so we've got to figure out a solution to fix that. First, I need to install these two push lock fittings. They're pretty hard to get in. I used a little bit of grease and tapped them in with a socket and a hammer. Now it's just to install the catch can. It was a 10mm hex that I had to undo. Next is to install these two straight AN fittings that come with the catch can. The kit comes with these two hoses to cut to size, which makes it really easy for installation. Just got to make sure that the hose seats into the groove perfectly. That's how you fit it properly. To get the nut over, you just need to twist and push in at the same time. Sometimes a little bit of grease helps. Then you just need to put a little bit of grease on the male fitting and screw it in like so, and use a vise to tighten it up to spec. Alright guys, we've got the hoses done. So we're going to put the hoses onto this and chuck it in. I did find that over tightening these made it a bit difficult to install, so I ended up loosening it off and then I nipped it up once it was installed. Alright guys, now it's time for the fun part. We're going to put this on and see how it fits and see what we're going to have to do for the hard lines. First I had to install these rubber O-rings on the intake runners. Yeah, so the first thing I've noticed, other than the known issue of the hard line hitting here, is that the aircon line's in the way. I have seen a shop online that sell one that runs lower down, so I might have to get one of those. But trying to make this drift event, so I think I'll just disconnect the line because there's no gas in there anyway, and then worry about that at a later date. We'll go put the throttle body on. I actually painted the throttle body the other day to match it, so it's going to look, I think, pretty nice. We'll put this on first and then we put on the throttle body. Hey guys, I just realized I lost some of the video. I'm just going to cut straight to the fabrication. That's the most exciting part anyway, so let's go do that. So I'll start off with the intake. It was quite tight, and I wanted to maintain the aircon lines in case I want to run aircon. So yeah, he's done a tight radius like this and powder coated all black, so it's nice and neat. Then you got the cooler pipe coming down to these quick connects, which is awesome. They take like literally a second to take off. And then obviously the intercooler, then same on this side, where it comes up underneath the headlight and routes around the battery and then into the turbo. I'm super happy with everything. It looks awesome. The dump pipe looks awesome. I'm probably going to heat wrap it, even though it looks so cool. I want to leave it like that. But the problem is, like, as anyone knows who owns barriers, is like these hoses and stuff. I'll move them out of the way and stuff, but it just gets hot back there. And he's kept it as far back from the firewall as possible, so to prevent that. I have some heat sleeving coming for those, so I'm just gonna put that on and hopefully everything's all good with that. But yeah, I'm stoked. It's looking like a car now. I've gone ahead and, you know, fitted the radiator off camera and everything, and that's what we'll be doing today, is just fitting everything else. I've got the fuel lines to finish plumbing up underneath the car and everything, so just gotta do that, and you guys will hopefully see it start in this video. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. So I've just been pulling the intake off, as you can see, just so I can tidy up all the wiring. This is the wire I'm talking about. I don't know how the car ran, but it's literally bare wire and it's twisted around each other. And that's for the throttle body. I'm not sure if it's for the throttle position or the controller, whatever you call it. But yeah, I need to clean up that wiring because that's disgusting. There's just bits and pieces, so I'm just gonna tidy up a bit so we don't have any issues at the track. If I didn't mention before, I don't think I have mentioned, but this car's getting prepared for a drift event down in Rayleigh Raceway, if anyone knows where that is. It's in New South Wales, in between Queensland and Sydney, so it's halfway between. That's what I'm getting the car ready for. It's been a mad rush. I was lucky to find my fabricator when I did. If anyone is in Queensland, I recommend SDF. They don't only sell the manifolds, but they actually do all the fab work as well. And he's done a really good job. I really recommend him. He's a nice bloke. And I do have to clock the turbo properly. It just needs to spin 180 degrees. As you can see, the oil drain is on the top, so that's got to flip around. I'm also hoping that I can just undo the V-bands and spin it around, but I've never done this before. I'm all new to all the V-band kind of stuff, so it's meant to be easier. So hopefully I can just do it on the car, and that way I don't have to pull off all the dump pipe and everything. I'm actually deleting the heater core at the moment, just because, like what I was saying with the Proflow intake manifold, apparently the version 2 is better, but you still have to do this, and that's why I don't think it's worth the money. You might as well just pay the extra money. It's less hassle to get like a Plazmaman or something. But anyways, so I've had to get rid of the factory hard line, and I've gotten some braided dash 10 lines, and it goes up to a dash 12 up there. So I've had to run, flexi braided line all the way back here around. And then what I'm doing here, I was going to go back into the heater core, but at the moment it's a bit much of an effort. So it's just easier to just kind of plumb back into the factory hardline here with a bit of rubber hose and a barb fitting. So that's what I'm going to do for now, and then at a later date I'll maybe mess around with the heater core. I've just tucked the clutch line along here. I could have cut it shorter, but I've already bled the clutch and everything, and that was the absolute mission to do. But I'll show you guys the easy way, because I've done my research and I found the easiest way to bleed a T56, but that's something else. So yeah, I've just run that. But yeah, besides that, just chugging along. I've just finished the wiring, so I'd used some heat shrink and fix those cables, and then this is the smallest one I had of the covering, so I've just whacked this on. It's a bit safer than having nothing there, so I'm happy with that. That shouldn't cause any issues. I'm just going to fix this one over here, and then we're ready to put the intake back on. So the exhaust manifold's done, and the studs, turbo beanie, dump pipe's done, the wastegate's done with the screamer, so I just need some hose clamps for this and down there. And just move on to here. I'm waiting on parts to finish off this side, but the wiring's done, as you guys already know. Just need to run a dash 10 line from here around to the coolant hardline pipe and finish off the fuel lines, and then I can put the intake on and she's ready to start. I've done the gearbox oil off camera. Yeah, hopefully she runs and we don't have any headaches, but most likely will have something that I've missed. Oh yeah, and I need to do the power steering. That's completely dry. I did look at the rack. It looks like it has a slight leak, but we're just gonna have to leave it. I won't have time before the drift event to fix that. So we'll have to wait for that and hope that this doesn't explode like they all do. Famous last words. I also need to sort something out for this bracket, because I don't know why, but it's just got a single arm and it keeps falling down to the side. So I might just cable tie it to this for now, just to hold it up straight, because just eventually it just keeps that tilting right over. There we go. Good from far, far from good. But it'll work. While I'm waiting for the AN fittings to come in, I'm going to start doing the hydro handbrake. So what I need to do is make a bracket out of cardboard, so that when I go to the fabricator they can make it out of metal, and then I can hook up the hydro handbrake. I do have a dual caliper setup going into this at a later date, in a later video. I don't know if I'll make it in time for the drift event, but we'll have to see how we go with that, because there's a lot of other stuff I need to do in the rear end, like bushings and stuff, to get it ready for the track. So it's track worthy really. So I'll go ahead and show you what I'm dealing with. I'm probably going to put the center console in, because I'm not sure if I want to keep the stock car look with the handbrake, or if I just want to go full track without any center console. So basically I'm trying to fit it up the front here. Realistically, I should have got a master cylinder that sat at the back, but mine's reversed, so the master cylinder is sitting forward and then the handbrake's at the back. I'll show you guys what I mean. So basically this is my rough seating position. As you can see, my knees here, steering wheel's here, and my foot's down there, so I don't want it in the way, but I think around about here is where I want it. It's out of the way of the factory handbrake, and it's close enough to my hand so I can pull it while drifting. So I just need to make a bracket down there, but I need to see if the center console is going to be interrupted by that. I know there's these side panelings. I don't care if I don't have them mounted, but we'll see how we go. So I've got myself some scissors and a white paint pen. So basically what I'll start off doing is hold it exactly where I want it, and then I'll draw a line on the carpet. So there's a marking there. So I'm just gonna make sure that's perfect. So just mark the front side so I know where it starts and finishes. That's where I want the top of the bracket to be. So I'll probably have to cut a little bit above and below. But I'll make this cardboard jig up and then we'll go from there. So this is a jig, or the bracket I've made, just out of cardboard. So I know exactly where the handbrake's gonna sit. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not perfect, but it'll get me in the ballpark where I need to be. And then I'll just get the fabricator and make a longer one. But it's roughly gonna sit there. I'll just show you from another angle. I'm gonna change the steering wheel, and it's gonna be slightly a bit smaller, but it's a good guide anyway, because you just don't want it too close to your knuckles and stuff when you're drifting. You don't want to smack into it. I've tested it off camera, you know, holding it with my knee like this and pretending to drift to see if it was going to be in my way, and as you can see, it's not. Like, you know, you got a fair bit of distance before you hit it, and also being comfortable. Like when I'm driving and I want to hit the master cylinder, and look, if I really put my foot over I can, but like it's not like a cruising car anyway, it's just going to be mainly a track car, so it's not going to be in the way when I'm clutch kicking and stuff like that. And it's in a good position. It's not gonna hit the dash or anything like that, or my knuckles are not gonna hit the dash when I grab it. It's right there, so I can just move down and rip on it, so it's nice and quick. So that's how it looks from above, right next to the handbrake, the original one. It's not in the way of that, not that matters. And I'm just gonna leave this paneling off on the side. Like, again, it's a track car, but you know, if I want to put it back, mainly all this stuff, it'll work. So I'm not too fussed about it anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So when I get the fabricator to do that, that'll be nice and done. I'll cut the carpet beforehand. At least I know where it is, and I'll do a mark out where exactly I need to cut the carpet. So I'll cut a bit above here, obviously, so you can weld and it's not gonna burn the carpet. And then do the bottom part as well. So I'll do that at a later date. But now we're gonna do the exciting part for me, at least, is we're gonna put the angle kit in that I got from AU House. So it's gonna be so exciting to see the lock difference. I'll show you guys the difference in lock as I do it. So let's go do that. So this is what we're swapping in. I'll just be swapping these brackets, not that. That's off my AU. Yeah, AU House lock kit. These are pretty much brand new. They're just in my project car, but they do need to be reset the height because it's way too low. So I'll put them in, see where it sits on this car, and then I'll have to raise them up. So this is currently the stock lock. Can't wait to see the improvement. So first I just need to undo some sensors or the sensor here, and the brakes I'll probably hang out of the way for the moment, because I don't want to drain all the fluid if I can avoid it. So I'll find a way to hang them up somewhere while I do all this. So I had to buy a ball joint separator and this ball joint removal tool to get it out. I guess there's more tools in the shed now, but I was at it for ages trying everything to get it out. This literally took a couple of seconds and it was out. I've got all the Raceworks stuff, so we can get this thing started very soon because I can plumb it all up. So I'm going to pause what I'm doing with this and we're going to start on that. So I'll start a time lapse. So it's been a couple of days later. I just been under the pump because I got to get this car ready for the tune. So I've apologized in advance, but I've just ran all the lines and cut them myself. So I'll just show you them complete. So yeah, just did the fittings, got the bracket here, come across and ran it into the turbo. I've put all the hose clamps on the turbo now, so this side is pretty much done. All the studs have been done. I still got to put the wideband sensor in, but the screamer's done. The turbo drain line's done for the coolant and also done for the oil. Then we're coming over here. So last night I was just test fitting this up so I knew where to cut the last 3 lines. So that's what we'll do today. We'll start off with cutting these lines in. So it's just a bit out of focus there. Yeah, cutting these lines in and fitting that off. And then I'll put the injectors in, like the fuel rail, get all that sorted out, do the rest of the cold side. And then this car's ready to start. I obviously got to check the pressure, so I'll probably take the oil line off for the turbo and make sure there's pressure getting up there and do all those tests and try start it, see what happens. It's so exciting, I'm excited. Let's go. I'll do a time lapse of this. And I might do a little instruction video on how to do the braided lines, just because, I mean, everyone I know has struggled with braided lines, like cutting them and putting them on. So I'll show you what I've done. I've found this technique and it just works for me. It just makes it so much easier to work with, because otherwise you just get frustrated with it and you want to pay for someone else to do it when it's actually not that hard. So I'll actually show you guys what I do with that. Basically here's a cut line, and I've put a really thick layer. The key to all this is, so I've used electrical tape, but I think you can get any sort of tape, and you tape it as tight as you can and wrap like 1 or 2 mils of tape around, like just make it real thick, and then you can cut it with your grinder or however you want to cut it. Make sure it's as straight as possible, and it holds it all together, and then you can unwrap it. And the trick is, when you unwrap it, you can actually leave one layer on to keep it all together. But even if you do it this way, even if you unwrap the whole thing, you'll still be able to get the nut on. And then it's just a matter of slipping the nut over and tightening, like twisting at the same time. And if there's any frays, like slight little frays, what I do, like say like here, there's a little fray, I'll start the nut like on that side and then twist to capture it in, and you just got to push and twist, and once you get it over, you seat it properly. And then I put a bit of grease on the male end that goes into the pipe, and it makes it so much easier. And if you have a vise, you just put this in the vise to hold it, and that's pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to be lazy with what's on the car. I don't want to take the hoses back out, so I'm actually going to cut them over the car, and I'll just clean the car afterwards. I know it's not the right thing to do, but yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. So that's this first toe's cut. You can see it's not perfect, it's got some frays. I'll show you how easy it is to get on that nut. Yeah, see how it's in there? It's not all the way, but I'll continue doing that. There you have it, that's as simple as it is. So the tape trick just really works. I think it's the best possible way. So I'll go ahead and put this on, and then I'm just going to put a bit of grease on here and slip her in. Just like that. Yeah, usually I'd use a vise, but like I said, being a bit lazy, I don't want to take it off the car again, so this is how we're doing it. I just discovered this. I got a ratchet spanner. I've slipped it over, and now makes it heaps easier. So you just tighten it up, rather than going to the vise or using two shifters. Not bad. I'm pleased with that. So I'll do that for the rest. I won't video it, but the rest will be exactly the same. So I'll go back to you when this is all done. So fuel line's all complete, so I'm happy with the results. Next thing up is the fuel line and permanently mounting the intake. So I've got to put all the vacuum hoses on, but have a look at this, it's looking awesome. So I've just got all the fuel lines hooked up. They're going to go nice and neat down there. And this is for the fuel rail, this one. But yeah, just got to put all the vacuum hoses on the bottom here. So I've got to take it back out, put them on, put it back in, tighten everything up, put the injectors in, fuel rail in. So I'll do a time-lapse video of that. Alright, so I've got the intake and injectors on, as you can see. They're all plugged in. Plugs for the VCTs are plugged in, and the rest of the spark plugs. So we just got to do the intake, and I'll check over everything, but I'm pretty sure that's it. It's ready to start. Just got to chuck this on. Super excited. We're nearly ready to start. So I've got the fuel rail in. I've got all the intercooler done. Turbos, yeah, like I said before, all that's done. So I'm just going to crank it without spark because I want to see the fuel pressure go up. And then once I set that to the right spot, I'll disconnect the oil line off this to make sure there's pressure. And then once that's all good, then I'll start it. So I couldn't figure out why the car wasn't sparking or anything. So I bought a Haltech ECU prior, like a barrel one, second hand, and I thought I'll just upload all the information onto the Haltech ECU and I'll just run that, because on the computer I can actually see what's going on with the car. So I've went and done that, and I'll show you what's going on here. So I've just set it all up, and hopefully she starts. These are just I don't think they're too important. I've just uploaded a base map, so I should be able to start it, but we'll see. Nothing's been working so far. So it's still not starting, obviously, but just got to figure out why. So all last night, I've just been looking at wiring diagrams and called a mate up. We were looking at the Haltech ECU, and we noticed that we weren't getting a RPM signal, which signaled to me that the crank sensor might have been faulty or something. But just having a look today, it wasn't faulty. What happened was someone's done a bodgy fix. Maybe the plug broke at some point, and it's just like a universal kind of plug, like it's not the original one. So I must have had it backwards. so it wasn't reading correctly. So we're just about to start it and hopefully it'll build oil pressure. So as you can see, it turns over now. It's running a bit rough. Figured out why it is, because I've been testing a lot of things. I left the intake cam sensor off, so I've just plugged that back in. Everything else should be plugged in, so we'll give it another turn over. Hopefully she builds oil pressure. So guys, I've been figuring out what's going on with this car. So the oil pressure was actually okay, because I overlooked it, but the dash light was going off. So that led me to think, like, why is the turbo line blocked? And I know that they have like a filter in the where the switch is for the turbo feed line, like from standard. And I swear it was taken out, but I took it off anyway, and I've just checked it, and it wasn't done. So I've done it now, so you can see straight through now. So that was all clogged, and that was causing the turbo line not to get oil. So it should work fine now. Thank God I found that. It wasn't too much of a hard fix, but the exhaust cam is getting a fault. So I'm just gonna figure that one out. I've tested the sensor, it looks okay, but I might just swap it anyway, and then I'll see where we go from there, and I'll check all the wiring and stuff like that. Maybe there's a break in the wire, who knows, but we'll get to that. We're nearly there. Yeah, so there's definitely oil coming out now. I forgot to video, but I had a rag there and it just soaked that, and I turned it on for a second. So we definitely have oil. So we're all good, but now I've got to clean this up because that's gonna smoke. All right guys, so I've just been cleaning up a bit because I spilled some oil and stuff like that. And I've just been getting a exhaust cam sensor issue, and I'm just doing some tests before I buy a new sensor. But so what I've been doing, it's helpful that a Haltech actually have the pinouts. So I thought it was that, but I got it wrong. It was this one. So I've just put some wire in there so I can get my connector on there and test for continuity. As you can see, the wire's okay. So I'm just going to check the ground side of that, and if that's okay, then I'm just going to change the sensor. It was reading okay, but you know, it could still be giving me drama, so I'm just, you know, at least I'll change that, and I know that that's new, and we can go from there. But other than that, it's working fine. I've got the turbo connected up, and I just gave everything a good degrees. Hopefully it doesn't smoke too much, but it is pretty wet. So I'll get back to you guys once I get the part, and let's see if it's all fixed. I believe this might be causing the issue. The wires could be touching and giving a bad reading or something like that. At a later date, I'll probably get a new wiring harness or get this repaired or something like that. But for now, I just need to get ready for the dyno, so I'll fix these up, put some electrical tape around it, and yeah, seal it back up. Honestly, I've bought a lot off Temu, and it's at a really good rate, and it all works. I'm even tempted to buy the diagnostic tool. The only thing is, now I've got this on the Haltech. Like, I just need a laptop, which I have, and I've got all the diagnostics I need on there, so I'll probably get that just for that reason. So originally I was just going to go with the original ECU, but I changed my mind because I saw this pop up on Facebook Marketplace, and I got this for a good deal, and I was like, I'm going to be drifting this thing. I spent a lot of time and effort on this motor and this setup, so why not get something that's going to protect it more? The factory BA is Xr6 turbo. It has some safeties, but nothing beats like a Haltech. Like I can do so many safeties, so I don't even have to look. Like while I'm sideways, if the oil drops or if the boost spikes, this can just shut down the car rather than it just like blow up, or I realize after I've finished drifting and I've pointed the car straight that there's an issue. So that was my thought trying getting this. It's just, it's insurance really. Like they're not too much. Like look, brand new, they're $4,000, but you can get sometimes for secondhand and still in good condition. Like the guy tested this before he sold it to me, and you know, now I've been using it and I know it's perfect, it's working fine. So that's my fault train on it. I've got to hook up the wideband sensor still. It's still on the narrowband sensor, so I'll be doing that. I've just topped it up with some fresh E85. I drained out the 98, and yeah, she's perfect to put new coolant in it, so she's ready to go. Let's start her. I'm so keen. So I've set it up on the Haltech for E85. Should we take it for a quick crawl, just out and back to make sure it works? I think so. I think I'm going to. I have to. I forgot to video. I was already too excited, but will get me reversing back in. Can't really drive, it keeps stalling, so nothing exciting anyway, but it works. The clutch works, so I'm happy with that. I think that's from the E85. Spills a bit. Wow. I'm doing the Haltech wideband sensor for the Barra ECU. If anyone's wondering how to do it, it's so simple. I'll show you guys in a second of how easy it is. So it comes with this wiring diagram, and you can download the actual wiring diagram from the internet of how to do the plug. But basically, it's numbered on the back of this plug, and on their diagram they show you exactly where the wires need to go. And it's as simple as just pushing the wires in the sequence till they bottom out, and then you just lock them in place like so. I can't really do it on camera, but you get the picture. You just do that and it's all done. Then I just got to run that from the ECU to where the bung is, and we're done. So simple. So this is the end product. As you can see, it's about a mil and a half from the surface of the top. You should be able to see them like that. I did have to use some long nose pliers to get the cables all the way in, and then I just press these locking tabs in, and yeah. So let's put it in. I've connected the wideband sensor up and I've dialed it in on the Haltech ECU. It's good enough to get to the dyno, so I'll just leave it for now and the tuners can sort the rest of it out. But I'm just going to put the body back together. So I've already gone ahead and done the front bumper, but I've just got to cut the intercooler piping where the fog lamps are. I've got to cut the bumper for the intercooler piping because it's a different setup to before. So we'll just do that. There you have it, guys, running on an E85. She's done. She's looking mint. Oh, spoke too soon. That was meant to be the end of the video, but I'm going to throw in the dyno day. But first, before I do that, I want to explain what happened. So when I arrived to the dyno, he did a safety check over it, and straight away we noticed that obviously it wasn't running right, and I knew that. And on a Haltech it should run properly. So I knew there was a few other mistakes, but I was running out of time and just needed to get there. We went over it, I plumbed it in wrong, we've plumbed it the correct way, and then I had a plug around the wrong way. So the knock sensor plug is exactly the same as the injector plug. The only difference is the two wires. And I missed that. You know, you just have to peel back a bit of the covering to see that there's different wires on those two plugs. So look, my mistake, but we've sorted it out. We've got it running half decent, but there's still some issues. We put on the dyno, and I'll put in a clip here of what was going on. So as you can see, the car, like we did a couple of pulls, but what was actually happening was it was getting a bit higher oil temp. So he pulled out and he's like, look, we went over the build, what I did. And I looked at some of my old videos, and actually in the video before this one that you're watching, I do a B-roll over the top of the motor. And that video I looked at, because I'm like, wait, I did a B-roll in my last video over the top of the motor. And we can see if I put everything the right way around. And I was certain that I did everything correctly because I numbered everything and also put arrows on everything. And when I built the motor, for this reason, because I'm like, you need to put everything back exactly how it came. But when we looked at the video, I had 3 of the caps the right way, and for whatever reason, even though the arrow was facing the opposite way of every other arrow, I still put it backwards. It was such a stupid mistake, like I can't believe I did it. But when we figured this out, I was like, oh shit, this is bad. So I basically had to leave it at the dyno, and he said he'll take the rocker cover off and swap it back around and see how it goes. So I really hope this doesn't blow up. But he's just sent me the video of the pull. This is the following day, and we're gonna see if anything bad happens. But take a look at this. As you can see, guys, it's all good. There's nothing wrong. He flipped it. It's all running perfect. It's made a good amount of power for what I wanted. You know, it is a skinny rod motor. In the comments below, guys, tell me what you think I made. Pause the video and tell me what you think I made, and then now I'm going to tell you. I made 510 horsepower at the wheels with this beast, and I'm stoked. Like, I'm absolutely stoked. I haven't got the car back as of yet because he wants to get the cold start in tune, so I don't have any issues. So I'm getting that back on Monday. So today's Sunday, I'm getting it back on Monday. And I literally have until Thursday to get all the bushes done on the car. Mind you, I'm a busy man. I have work to do and stuff, so I don't know if I'm gonna video it all, but I'm gonna have to get the bushes in and then get the car aligned on Thursday, and then Friday we're gonna be at the track. So exciting times, guys. Don't forget guys to like, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot and I really appreciate you guys. Comment what you guys think. I'm always keen to hear what you guys have to say. So leave a comment below and I'll see you guys in the next video.